Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Jini. Today I'm going to share with you this soft, subtle card using the Scalloped BLOOMS stamp set found in our 2026 May-August Mini. It also uses our 2026 in colors that I think you're going to love as much as I do. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how to get started. Okay, I'm going to start with the stamping, so I'm going to bring in my happy birthday sentiment here, and I am going to stamp that right here in the center of my card, like so. And I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to bring in my sentiment for the inside, ink it up, and stamp. Now, as I've mentioned before in my videos, if you have a new stamp set like this and you want to make sure it stamps really well, you can stamp it in Versamark first so it grabs that ink and holds it. And of course, with our photopolymer, you want to count to 3 before you lift. And then I'm going to bring in this quick little butterfly image from the Olive Flutter. I just think it's so cute. And I'm going to stamp that in the Barely Blush ink to the right, just to give it a little bit of whimsy. There we go. I've got my stamping done and we're ready to assemble. So I'm going to bring my sentiment in here and layer it onto this beautiful hydrangea hue. I think this has got to be my favorite color out of the new in colors. It's just such a pretty color. There we go. I've got that done, and then I'm going to bring in my designer series paper and my hydrangea hue panel. Now, if this is important to you to have the designer series paper in the order in which they were cut, you need to pay attention to how you are cutting them so that you have everything where you want it to be in the order you want it to be. But I really am not worried about that. What I am worried about is my spacing, and of course your grid paper will help with that if you want to line it up using your grid paper. And I'm going to lay these in first, like so, checking my spacing between the squares so that I've got things the way I want them. And that looks pretty good, and the bottom will give me enough also there. And so I'm going to start adhering. I'm going to pick up this first one here and add some adhesive and adhere it down where I'd like it. Like so. And then I'm going to flip over these last three, and I'm going to add adhesive on them quickly. This will allow me to add them to the card front a little faster. I'm going to set this one down here and adhere it in place. Then I'm going to move this right one and adhere this top corner in place. And then the center one here is really easy to space between the two. And as long as I'm looking at that bottom edge and the top edge, they should line up well. There we go. And then I can flip these last two over and adhere them down. I've got that finished and I'm ready to add it to my card front, so I'm going to bring in my card base here and score it on the burnish it on the fold, and then I'm going to adhere this down onto my card front. I love the way the Barely Blush makes those flowers pop out of the designer series paper for this project. Such a soft color. And then I'm going to bring in my happy birthday, add some dimensionals onto the back so it just pops and gives me a little bit of shadow below it. This is a fairly large panel, so if you want, add one to the center. I've got those on the back, and so I'm going to adhere this right in the center of my card. And of course at this time, if I wanted to, I could adhere my little butterflies in the inside, but I'm just going to set that inside. And then I'm going to bring in these beautiful little iridescent butterflies. These are the 2006 in colors, and the butterflies come in all 5 colors, plus they come in clear along with the two different sizes. And I'm going to pop some of these butterflies around the card front randomly. I think I'm going to use one of those there. I'm going to add a large butterfly there. And I think I'm going to add a golden glow butterfly here below the birthday, like so. And of course you can add some additional ones if you like. I'm going to add a few more here just around the card front. But I'm going to use the small ones to do that. Let's see, I think I'm going to use one of the hydrangea. There we go. So there's these cute little butterflies that pull in that butterfly on the inside sentiment panel, which is why I thought that would be a cute addition to the card. So there you go, a quick and easy card using the Scalloped BLOOMS stamp set. This stamp set has some wonderful all-occasion sentiments, and it works with coordinating dies. And of course, if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.